Hello there, the purpose of this channel is to show people how to grow their own fruit and vegetables regardless of what size garden or allotment they have. So starting here with this absolutely fantastic Concord pear tree. This is a self-fertile variety, meaning it doesn't need a pollination partner in order to produce absolutely lovely fruit. So if you can only have one pear tree, Concord would probably be the one for you. And I refer to this as the tree that never grows. I've owned this tree probably for about 8 years and it's never really got much bigger, but every year it rewards me with these absolutely lovely fruits. Sometimes it has lots of small ones, sometimes it has bigger ones but not so many, but either way they're lovely tasting. I tried one this morning, they're not quite ready yet, it's another 2 or 3 weeks and I'm expecting these to be absolutely delicious. How good is that? Okay, so 2 new additions to the project here. Very excited about these. So the first one is a new peach tree, variety Peregrine. I'll let you pause that if you'd like to read more about it. It's a traditional peach variety to grow here in the UK. I've got a video coming up soon about growing of peaches here in the UK, so if you'd like to learn more about that, please feel free to check that video out. But the main thing is, this is peach leaf curl free by the looks of it. Okay, so another new addition to the project, and that is indeed a Nectarine variety Lord Napier. Looks like a lovely nice tree, no obvious signs of peach leaf curl, so hopefully this will do very, very well indeed. So both the peach and the nectarine, they're both varieties, are traditional varieties for growing here in the UK with a history behind them. Okay, so some of you may be thinking, how did the exotics do here during that night when it went down to about 2 or 3 degrees C, which is about 34 degrees Fahrenheit? Well, the answer is they did fine. So they're here in the polytunnel, which does offer a degree of protection. Plus, I also put some other protective methods over the plants that required it. If you saw the video, you've seen what I used, but no issues at all. In fact, I have noticed the sign of some new blossom potentially on the blood orange. So looking very, very nice, no problems. Still carrying a small crop, which hopefully these will mature into lovely blood oranges. So the pomegranate looking good, although this is meant to be hardy, to be honest, when it's fully mature. It may even be fully hardy now, but I'm not willing to take the chance. The same with the persimmon and the tea plant, but yes, I still covered them up anyway because I don't want to risk damage. And here as well, the yuzu, I covered that up, although this is widely known to be hardy down to about -10 degrees C. But once again, whilst they're young like this, I'm still being vigilant and using protection to help them deal with adverse conditions, so to speak. And everything else in here is all fully hardy. So my garlic has come up. You may remember I set some garlic. This was about a week or so ago. Looking good. One of the first things to germinate that I put in. So looking absolutely lovely indeed. Very, very happy in those regards. No sign of the onions yet, but they generally are on the drag when it comes to a comparison with garlic. So 2 to 3 weeks, the lovely onions should be up also. Okay, so strawberries and blueberry time. Yes, now these strawberries are variety Cambridge favourite, a very, very traditional variety for growing here in the UK. Absolutely lovely strawberry. In fact, I am actually still getting some strawberries coming now. Something's nibbling at that one, but I'm really not worried about that. But yeah, getting like a second crop, if you will. So that's something I am indeed very, very grateful for. So the blueberries, these are looking good. Variety Jersey, these ones, and in comparison to many other varieties of blueberries, they're actually a much sharper and a stronger taste. Now they're quite an old-fashioned variety, but the berries even look a little bit different, but they're certainly nice, and they're just doing very, very well. So they're all in ericaceous compost, and I've also put some ericaceous feed in there, so they're doing very, very well. and I'm going to get a liquid feed, a liquid ericaceous feed, to put that in because they favour acidic soil. I've got videos on that. Also got variety Duke, so I'm very, very happy with how these have done. So I'm intending on really building up the blueberry collection. I really want blueberries to be a big part of the project here. So I'm going to be getting more and more varieties, but if you want a sort of traditional variety that tastes a little bit different and looks a little bit different with a big history behind it, I would say look into getting some Jersey bushes, because I hadn't heard of this variety before until I looked, but certainly glad that I bought them. My mature blueberry bushes here, this one has put out some massive growth, really benefited from the good growing medium that they are indeed in. Had a lovely crop of blueberries this year, really did. Okay, so raspberry canes. I'm hoping that these raspberry canes are going to be absolutely epic. So they're very good this year, and this is their first sort of mature year in. I planted them last year. They did very, very well indeed. So what you need to do is, you've got two types of raspberries. You've got summer fruiting and autumn fruiting. There are allegedly some that are a combination of both, but I stick with, you know, the basics really with regards to explaining about these. So what you've got these are summer fruiting varieties, okay, which means that they fruit on the previous year's cane. So if you look at this, right, this is a cane from the previous year. You can tell the difference because it looks sort of old, really, like that. You have a look. So what you do is you cut that off at the bottom there and discard of it, and you leave lovely new growth, lush growth like this, and this is where the fruit will be next year. If you've got autumn fruiting raspberries, it's different, because what they do is they put shoots up on the year in which they grow. So let's say, for instance, if I was getting autumn fruiting raspberries, which funnily enough would be fruiting about now, they'd have shot up during the early part of the year. So when you're growing raspberries, make sure you know what you're growing, you know, whether they're autumn or summer fruiting. But I would say, as far as the space they take up, raspberries go, they are one of the best things to grow for a good heavy crop, good reliable cropper. And you can also dig them up and move them to different locations. Like, for instance, if you see here, look, it's putting up all this already, so that will be, I could dig these up and move them as I could with these canes. So very, very good thing to grow, and so many different varieties now. These are Golden Queen, I believe. They're like a lovely sweet, really, really sweet yellow variety. Highly, highly recommended, but there really are so many. So down here, this is, it's a vegetable bed really, but what I want to do, or what I'm thinking of, is moving this tree here. This is variety Worcester Pearman, and I'm thinking of extending this bed here. Now this doesn't get much sun here, but it didn't seem to affect the growth of that squash, as you could see. Many of you will be aware of this already, but even though this only gets about 4 hours of sun, it managed to produce that lovely squash. And I also had other varieties of squash growing here. They grew very well, so maybe this is a sort of bed for that sort of vegetable, you know, to grow that here. But I've also got this beetroot growing here. Look at that, look, that is looking absolutely lovely, no issues there, all looking really, really nice. So I'm thinking of moving that tree and expanding the size of this bed here, and having a larger bed. Tell me what you think. Okay, so a little update for you there. I'm really excited about how this is going. Everything's starting to sort of come together. I've been working at this project here now probably for about 3.5 years, and getting it going, thinking, planning, direction I want to go ahead with, and, you know, fitting it in around everything else. But my advice to anyone who wants to get into gardening is really do it. You know, start off small, something, you know, tiny, and let it grow and love, and let it all happen, because it truly can, and you'll be glad you did it. It might take you time, it might even take you many, many, many years, but get going with it, okay? And this time of year is coming up that you can really start thinking, planning, getting inspiration from others, and basically learning all around, because there's so much information out there now, so many people putting stuff out there, whether it's other gardeners on YouTube, whether it's books on the television, you know, Monty Don Gardener's World, so much out there. So yes, I'm going to stop babbling now, and if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.